This time on Word on the Street, a record-breaking album has dropped.
Beer, food, and fun return to a local town this weekend.
So sit back,
relax,
and
here's the Word on the Street.
Welcome back to another episode of Word on the Street.
We are here every week to give you your full entertainment and arts rundown. Now, last week, Hawkeye football had a bye week, and so did we, but let's jump right into the Swifties, starting with the Swifties.
Yeah, that's right, Hannah. We're so sorry we weren't on your screens last week, but we're going to start off with a bang with Taylor Swift's new album. The Life of a Showgirl has dropped, and man, is it making an impact.
Yes, this is Taylor's 12th studio album, and it talks mainly about themes like fame, spotlight, and the behind-the-curtain aspect of show business. And yes, there are a few nods to Travis Kelce, obviously, on the album, so you'll just have to listen and see what you can find in those Easter eggs.
Yeah, absolutely. And fans lined up at Target on Friday morning to secure a physical copy of the new album. Over 500 Target stores actually opened on midnight to sell the album, and a lot of stores even had a sign saying that only 4 albums per person can be bought due to the album's popularity.
Now, for some incredible stats about the album, it was the most pre-saved album in Spotify history with 6 million fans pre-saving. It was also the most streamed album in a single day so far this year on Spotify, all in just 11 hours. And on top of all this, the lead song on the album, The Fate of Ophelia, set a record for the most streams in a single day by a song on Spotify. And this album also averaged around 20.8 million streams per track globally just on its first day.
Yeah, I really liked this album. The stats kind of spoke for itself, but honestly, like, she has not fizzled out at all. If anything, she's doing even better than before.
Yeah.
So I am just really, really proud of her and her entire team because this was so incredible and she really did a great job. I loved the whole theme.
And it was a very different album. Like, we just came out of Tortured Poets Department, which was very like poetic.
Yeah.
It's a super long album and very like lyric focused. And this is a complete 180. This reminds me a little bit more of like the 1989 Reputation era, and she uses those producers, Max Martin and Shellback, who produced those albums for her, and kind of goes back to them for this project. But I really do enjoy how it is like the glitz and glam of being a showgirl, and it makes sense. Like, it's her 12th album for her birthday month, number 12, and 12 songs. So I don't think it's my favorite album yet. We'll see. I didn't like Tortured Poets when it first came out, and when I gave it another listen, it became like one of my top favorites. But there are definitely a lot of songs on this that are going to be huge bangers. I can see like really getting a lot of attention, but some of them I'm just like, I don't know how to feel.
Yeah, I think for me, I like the more fun albums, and like personally, I wasn't a huge fan of the Tortured Poets Department.
Oh, okay.
But I love how this one's just more like fun and light. But yeah, we will have to see. I feel like I also liked this one was shorter.
Yeah,
I thought
me too.
The last one dragged on for a little bit. It was really long. And all of these songs I really liked.
It is getting some hate though. Some people are saying it's her worst album so far, which is kind of a lot with these like stats coming out and super highly anticipated. If this is what the fans are saying, it's not too good, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and along with dropping this new album, she also released a music video on October 5th for the song The Fate of Ophelia, which she wrote and directed entirely herself. It premiered first in the movie theaters, where fans could go and see a whole film about the album. It dropped on YouTube on October 5th. It basically takes us on a journey of what it's like being a showgirl, while also invoking some classic moments from the Shakespeare story about Ophelia.
Yeah, and the video even has a little nod towards the famous painting Ophelia and shows Taylor posing in the live painting. And my family actually got to see this film like the day it came out. I was super jealous. They were sending me pictures and everything. But they were saying how cool it was to see the behind the scenes of making this video and just the behind the scenes of the album and the inspirations that went into it. And fans really love when artists do this. It brings them more down to earth. It makes you feel more of a connection with them. So I think that this film that she released was like perfect for this theme of the the album like a showgirl. And I think people loved it.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen it yet because it was totally sold out in Iowa City, which is so annoying. But I'm really hoping they'll add it to Disney Plus because I know they have the Eras Tour show on there. So yeah, I feel like she overall was like, obviously she's successful, like in everything she releases. So I don't think there's any question there, and I'm just kind of excited to see where this album goes.
Me too. But next, we have some big news coming from the NFL. Bad Bunny will be performing at the Super Bowl halftime show.
I am so excited about this because actually last year I saw him perform in a subway station in New York when he was on Jimmy Fallon. So ever since, I've been a Bad Bunny fan through and through.
Yeah, I mean, this is just crazy. Like, you actually got to see him live, like at the subway in New York. Like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I know. The video, there's so many people there, but this is what I have. You can kind of see him. He's in disguise. It was on and there's Jimmy Fallon on the screen too. So yeah, but Bad Bunny's had some great hits, all of which are primarily recorded in Spanish. However, despite English not being his first language, he continues to bring this different culture and different backgrounds together through his incredible music.
Yeah, and he's been on Jimmy Fallon and SNL a number of times, and he's even hosted the show once with him, and is also hosted SNL recently. And he was in the Happy Gilmore 2 movie, which he was so good in and so funny. I think he has such a great sense of humor, and this announcement of the Super Bowl isn't surprising to me. He's had a great year, but he will be the first non-English speaking artist to like his Super Bowl show will be the first non-English Super Bowl ever.
Yeah, and that's why this performance is way more than just music. It's truly a moment of cultural representation. Bad Bunny is originally from Puerto Rico, and he is always invoking that Latin heritage just across the globe.
Yes, however, he avoided performing his world tour in the United States recently due to ICE raids. So this Super Bowl performance will be the first time we've seen him performing in the U.S. in a long time. And now that he is in the U.S., people are saying it's kind of a political statement of him being here and performing at the Super Bowl. And now because of that, they are saying that ICE will now be patrolling outside the Super Bowl because of him performing there. So yeah, we'll see. I don't know why there's so much controversy and drama around that. So we'll just, hopefully it all fizzles down and we just get to focus on the performance of Bad Bunny because he's amazing.
Yeah, I know President Trump was definitely unhappy about this decision. But one thing that is really cool about Bad Bunny too, which of course besides the whole seeing him in the subway station, when I was abroad this summer, he was easily the most popular artist in Europe, no matter what country we went to. It was all Bad Bunny. The other kids in my group were like obsessed with him, but also just everyone knew him. Like we were in all different places, not Spanish-speaking countries, and he was the only consistent artist. So I just think that's really cool. And you know, right now he has over 107 billion streams on Spotify and has 66 million followers as well.
Yeah. And he's won 3 Grammys so far, but I have a feeling there are many more to come. And he also broke the Latin Billboard Award record for having 27 nominations this year, which is the most ever for a single artist in one year. Now, we do know that President Trump was not a fan of this choice for the halftime show, and one of the advisors to the Department of Homeland Security has already said that ICE will be patrolling the Super Bowl, but I'm just kind of interested to see what happens.
Yeah, I am too. I hope it kind of all stays. You know, nothing too crazy happens. I know that personally, I know that he's quite entertaining, so I'm really just excited to see what he has in store.
Oh yeah, definitely. But now moving right along, Grace, I heard you had a really fun weekend.
I sure did. I got to go down to the Amana Colonies to cover their annual Oktoberfest event, and I had a great time. And this year marked their 60th anniversary of hosting this event, and you could really feel the love for Oktoberfest when I was there. I talked to so many attendees who said that they don't just come for the beer or for the brats, but more so to reconnect with old friends, and many who have actually literally met at Oktoberfest years ago. So people also wore traditional outfits and said that the German culture in Amana is really important to preserve because the colonies were originally settled by German immigrants. So Oktoberfest means a whole lot more to this town and their culture. And one of my favorite parts of the event was seeing people come together over great music and food while also cherishing the German influence of Oktoberfest by really just relishing in the traditional polka music and partaking in German activities. Yeah. So I did cover the full story, so let's take a look. The Amana colonies are filled with excitement today as guests celebrate Oktoberfest. But this isn't just any ordinary year. This year marks the 60th anniversary of this historic celebration. Rich with German culture, hundreds of people gathered to explore all that Oktoberfest has to offer. Just over 20 miles away from Iowa City is a take on the world's largest folk festival.
My favorite activity at Oktoberfest is just seeing old friends I have not seen in a long time, dressing up in all of the outfits and just being with my friends.
And speaking of outfits, many guests chose to dress in traditional German attire, with women wearing drindles and men in lederhosen. Accessories like Bavarian hats were also worn with stories to go behind them.
You go find a good different pin, and you pick one up, and you put it on, remembers the next year and the next year.
For some, Oktoberfest means more. John Childers, who has been a part of the planning process for years, was crowned with a very special title, this year's Burgermeister.
The reason that I've become the Burgermeister, sort of the face, I'm going to be in the Burgermeister wagon, we'll be at the front of the parade tomorrow, is because I ran the event for many, many years and have been involved for so long.
John's dedication to Oktoberfest has helped keep the German tradition in Amana alive. Oktoberfest is committed to using locally sourced beer, food, and entertainment.
We have beer tent with 60th anniversary steins, food from the Amana Meat Shop.
We've got DITV Kinda, that is a brass capella or like a brass band that is from the Amana.
Oktoberfest was from October 2nd to the 5th and will return next year. Oktoberfest continues to bring together family and friends through great music, beer, and food. From the Amana colonies, Grace Lathrop, DITV Arts and Culture.
And this weekend, Iowa City was full of culture and vibes.
That's right, Hannah. We have DITV's Arts and Culture, Linda Lako, to share more of what happened over the weekend.
Well, ladies, I wish you were there because over the weekend, Iowa City hosted an African Arts Festival, and it was something that felt out of this world. That's why we have DITV's Kebedi Mutamba with the full rundown.
Welcome to the African Festival Arts and Cultures here in Iowa City on the Pedmo. The sights, the sounds, the smells, we are truly in Africa right now. That's what everyone's been saying.
This Saturday, festival goers were able to shop for African jewelry, clothes, and art, eat African food, and of course, dance to African music. Sunday Goshit, who is the chair of the festival's planning committee, says that the festival went from 40 total vendors to 66 in what is only its second year.
It just simply shows that people want community. People want to get together. And what you need is just to be able to initiate it.
Goshit also says that the festival is meant to show the value of Africans in the Iowa City community.
We are contributing to the economy, we are contributing to the social life, and we bring a lot as a people to the community.
Both attendees and organizers said that the festival was proof that you don't need a passport to visit Africa.
They're living right now in Africa because right now we're listening to African music, right? I want them to feel like Africans, the way we feel.
Iowa City Mayor Pro Tem Mazahir Saleh says that the festival gives her a sense of belonging.
We are far away from home, but this looks like home now.
For many Africans, the event was a chance to not only celebrate, but also share their culture. Iowa City resident Adel Uthman encourages people to step out of their comfort zone.
We're sharing our culture because this feels like home. This is home. So, don't feel like unwelcome.
The festivities lasted from noon all the way to 9 p.m. at night. At the Iowa City Pedmo, Kebedi Mutamba, DITV.
I am South Sudanese, so it was amazing to see my culture and many others being represented in Iowa City. When you walk down into the Pen Mall, the first thing you see are African flags. Then you start hearing that upbeat music as the festival was flooded with many vendors of food, clothing, accessories, and way more. The one thing I love was the music. Afrobeats are always my go-to music choice, so some artists I recommend are Burna Boy, Araya Star, Davito, and I could just go on. Music was not the only thing happening at the festival. A total of 66 vendors were able to sell their African products. Products such as African jewelry, clothes, wigs, and other accessories. These vendors filled up the entire area. Even though the one thing I wanted to get was a waist bead, which is basically a necklace for your waist, I never got the chance. But you know, there's always next year. This festival also had special guests such as Mayor Teagues and Mazari Salih, who was actually the first Sudanese woman to work in city council and be mayor pro tem. I can go on forever about the festival. It was so much fun and I had the time of my life. But Hannah and Grace, back to you.
And now transitioning into this weekend, the theater department's first main stage show of the year opens this Friday.
I am so excited, and it is a devised version of Romeo and Juliet. And Hannah, you've been working really, really hard and closely on this show.
Yes, that's true. I am one of the spotlight operators, so I do know everything that goes on in this show. And this isn't your usual Romeo and Juliet. I'll just say that. I usually hate when people try to make Shakespeare contemporary. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And I haven't found a single Shakespearean show that I've seen contemporary that I've actually liked until this version of Romeo and Juliet. The director, Soren Olsen, rewrote parts of it to be in modern language, rewrote parts of the old language to be more comprehensible for an audience to sit and listen to, and shortened it a lot. The show's only an hour and a half with no intermission, so it's easier to consume as an audience member. And some of the things that are stick out to me is how he shows like the different families, the Capulets versus the Montagues. The Capulets are new money, the Montagues are old money. You can see it in the costume and their language. Comedy is added because Romeo and Juliet isn't really a funny show, but it's really cool how he was able to write in these comedic elements and use like modern day slang to really make certain characters so much funnier. Like my favorite is Mercutio, which isn't usually everyone's favorite character, but in this show he is hilarious, and you really get to see like more of a modern take on like the Romeo boy gang. It's really cool. And there's a lot of sexual innuendos in this show. It's kind of insane. When I watched it for the first time, I was like mouth on the floor, jaw dropped. I was like, oh, so this is how it goes. But the show is really, really great, and I'm excited for everyone to see it. Yeah, it opens this weekend.
Yeah, I am super excited. And tickets are $5 for students, and there are 6 show days, as you can see on your screen. So starting this Friday through Sunday and picking up again next Thursday through Saturday. And everyone get excited and stay tuned for next week because we are going to have a very special guest on the show.
That's right. Producer of Seth Meyers' show, Eric Lederman, will be sitting down with Grace and I to talk about his experiences and what it's like having such an awesome job.
Yeah, I am so excited. And a side note, he is an Iowa alumni, which just makes it 10 times better. But yeah, I'm super excited to hear what he has to say and just to soak up every story that I'm sure he has a lot to tell.
Yes, and Eric will be on Word on the Street a day later, so it'll come out a little bit later because we had to move around and work around his schedule. So it'll be on next Friday, and he will also be on Care UI, which Grace will be covering, so stay tuned for the full story.
Yes, I will be pretty much following him around for next Tuesday and Wednesday, so I have the full thing coming on, and I'm ready. I'm so excited. I've been waiting, so...
Oh, I know. You've been working on this for a while. Yeah.
But yeah, really excited to hear what Eric has to say.
Definitely.
But until then, thank you so much for joining us today on Word on the Street.
We will be here every week to give you your entertainment updates.
But for now, I'm Grace Lathrop.
And I'm Hannah Lipski, and have a wonderful week, and we'll see you next time on Word on the Street.